How is it going, YouTube? Today we're going to discuss an interesting tag in EU4 in the western part of North America in British Columbia area called Haida. It is on an island called Queen Charlotte Island, but basically Haida is one of the most remote tags in EU4 as far as like being away from where institutions might spawn in Europe and getting quick access to reforming off institutions with the colonists, and really just benefiting from a lot of the other native tribes, like the way the Creek or maybe the Iroquois do in eastern North America, far away from, even the Navajo and some of the tribes in the midst of Canada. But most importantly, of course, in the American context, like the mines of Mexico. So we usually think of maybe Haida is like one of the toughest tags to play for that reason. And I'd also say, Mapuche and Charwa, those would be tags that are very far away from institutions to reform off of, just for different reasons, and a conventional sense of how to play the game. But in this case, I've shown in my other videos that you can reform into a horde pretty quickly by farming reform progress to the right buildings and rolling a strong ruler at the beginning of the game that lasts a long lifetime. So if you are playing as like Carib in South America and you happen to get a horde, then you can force the Mayan religion upon yourself, and now you have good CCR and you have a horde government, so you don't have the downsides of the Mayan religion, normal reforms, and you don't have the downsides of the reform process as the native government anymore, especially the settled native federation. So we see that I start out here in this northwestern part of like Canada and Alaska, and I'm actually going to make a counterintuitive move. I am going to migrate north way up into the western Alaskan panhandle in Kodiak. And you might say, well, why don't you form some kind of like federation temporarily, get near other tags, maybe in Canada, so you can farm some admin from humiliation wars, right? Well, that could make some sense, but migration does get expensive, and what we're actually trying to leverage here is getting absolutely as far west, the extreme end of North America, the map and the terra incognita, and then we'll be within colonial range to colonize with like one colonist, no good colonial range really, just like Tech 3, this island called Unangan, which is the Aleutian Islands. Once we do that and we have 160 colonial range from Tech 3, we can colonize, or rather, we can conquer with our colonial range and core Kamchatka or Chavchaveni in like the extreme northeastern part of the Chukchi Peninsula, and then Kamchatka, of course, is Kamchatka further south. Ideally, we want Kamchatka because it saves us time. So we conquer that, and then we deal with the rebels, we send some ships, we build some ships so that we can explore and get that exploration range, right? And just to remind you, we don't have Tech 7 Diplo, we don't have any of like the depth of the ideas of the exploration group, like the overseas exploration one that gives you plus 50%. We just have the base of 160 exploration range, and we're using an exploration advisor, colonial advisor, right? So we colonize Kamchatka in that sense by taking a core of it. Then we explore some more, and let's say we do another colony in the Othotsk area, like Tauisk is the province name. We just have enough colony range for that. So once we do that, we for sure have enough range to go attack Nivkh and then like colonize Nivkh, deal with any of their allies, and then the hardest war we might have to do is to take a war against Orochoni if they're still around by this time. But basically, if we can conquer Nivkh and get that like direct land range from our colonial empire, so to speak, of Tauisk and Kamchatka, this overseas empire, we have coring colonial range down through Manchuria, and we will conquer Orochoni, core Yeren, and now you're going to find something really unique. You're going to find that you can core or make a colony in Taiwan. Why is this interesting is because we don't even have Tech 7, so very minimal colonial range, and we don't have any special overseas exploration ideas. And we've managed to make it all the way to the China Sea as Haida, as a native tribe. So you can expect to do this maybe in like the 1520s, because that's how long it might take to get a horde and all the things that we would need for that, right? And to become Mayan religion, get the free colonists. But based on Haida's starting location, this means that you can have these exploration ships have a colony in Taiwan like 40, 50 years earlier, and then start exploring in the Southeast Asia region, the Andaman Islands near Bengal, ally a lot of like medium-sized tags that'll be willing to ally you, and maybe ally Ming or their successor states. When you do that, this could have been a save basically where there's no birding. If things got really lucky, dealing with some of those wars with the Manchurian tribes like Orochoni, maybe Haishi, Nanai, those could be problems. But in the meantime, while you get like admin 5 for exploration, then you could probably also get like exploration range through Diplotech 7. It wouldn't be that far away, especially if you're like a horde and you've had like a 656 ruler or something. So this is the worst case scenario on how fast you could colonize, just by migrating your capital to Kodiak, and how fast you could reach the East China Sea region in Taiwan, dominate semiconductors, good stuff. But you can like ally Ming, and you really just need a stronger army. But the idea is that if you have these allies in Asia that are strong, that have decent techs, large numbers of soldiers, that are willing to defend you versus like Spain due to trust, then in Iron Man no birding, you could get some strong alliances and never get attacked by Spain or Portugal if you're playing your cards right. So this is one way to do it. And there's a little bit of a later way to do it. I will show you, where you don't even need to take exploration ideas at all. But I think this way is a little bit more efficient with a buffer, just to take 400 Diplo and to explore in that sense. So because the other way is going to require Diplo 11, but in that sense, although it's more constrictive, you don't even need to ever actually explore with ships, because your step horde tech group gives you a view on Asia, and then you have colonial range to colonize a province called Jugjur. Anyway, I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe. Have a good day.